Summary witness Joseph Cercillo gives his cross-examination testimony against Diddy. Diddy's lawyer starts out by asking, "This exhibit, it shows expenses paid for Sean Combs. This is an account from QuickBooks. In abundance of caution, let's turn off the public screen. This account, it shows JetBlue, LA, agency fee, other, AR receipt Sean Combs. Do you see that?" Yes. And they're saying that these expenses are showing that they are for Sean Combs and not through his business. Let's look at this exhibit. JFK to LAX, account of Jessica Ruse. Is this right? Right. When you did the chart, you saw only the Amex records? I saw what was presented to me. This is another chart that you reviewed. Let's go to Exhibit 15, row 39. You listed the lawsuit, Cassandra Ventura versus Sean Combs, and Combs' IG Live video. Did you see this month-to-month lease in Jane's true name? Have you ever seen this exhibit? I have not. Here we saw Mr. Combs saying, "Damn, wish you were here, right?" Yes. In this exhibit, Jane writes, "I'm hot for you. Put it deep in me." These next two pages are not in your chart, are they? No, I don't think so. Then Jane writes, "Having wine, miss you." That's not included? It's not. Here in this exhibit, she writes, "I have some here, but mostly black dominatrix style, right?" Yes. These next exhibits are between Jane and Cabral. Jane writes, "I might have some time off." Then Jane writes, "Hey cutie, how are you?" And he writes back, "Just got back from cooking for a brunch. I'm one of a kind, baby." She writes back, "LOL, these pics. Okay if I fly you out? I'm so hot I need you. I'm touching myself right now." Is that right? Yes. The messages you reviewed omitted emojis, right? I'm not sure. Jane writes, "See you soon," with the kiss face emoji, and then heart eye emojis. Cabral writes, "Me too," also with emojis, right? Yes. Do you see the metadata on this exhibit? Yes. Test your headphones to make sure they work. And then they start playing freak off videos. In this exhibit, Jane messages Cabral. What does he respond? He texts, "I'm just chilling in Houston, waiting for my flight." Jane writes, "Want to come to Miami? I have a small free window," with an emoji. And then she says, "Oh, Slide, thank you for making me feel so beautiful." He writes, "You called me by my government name." I said, "Whoa, things are getting personal now." And then Jane responds saying, "I'm traveling. Maybe you can come too. PCR test needed." And then she says, "Wait, you have a passport, right? Oh, then don't worry about the PCR test." These lawyers start out by pulling up an exhibit from December 21st of 2021 of Jane, Diddy, Don, and Cabral. And these exhibits are freak-off videos being played for the jury. Then Diddy's lawyer says, "What does Jane say here?" She writes, "That was so effing sexy." And then she writes, "I'm wet thinking about it." Heart eye emoji. Now Paul is in the chat. But your chart doesn't list Cabral's message with Jane. Now it's December 21st of 2021 and she reaches out to Cabral to say Happy New Year's. And she writes, "Let me know if you want to come tonight." What does Cabral say? He says, "I'm cooking for my family, but tomorrow for sure." And this is not in your chart? No. Let's pull up this exhibit. This is from April 4th of 2022. Combs texting Jane. You read Mr. Combs. Mr. Combs writes, "I have been having crazy fantasies about Leo. You and Leo." And these are Diddy's text messages, texting this to Jane saying, "I've been having crazy fantasies about Leo." And then he says, "You and Leo, LOL." And then he writes, "Adderall is the greatest, LOL." And then she writes to him with a drool face emoji. Then he writes, "Adderall is the greatest, LOL." And then she writes to him with a drool face emoji. Let's look at this exhibit. It's in July of 2022. You only reviewed what the government gave you, right? Right. Mr. Combs tells Paul to come over. Yes. And here Jane says, "My place is free tonight." Then she writes, "I got on my knees and thanked God for the health of my child and for your friendship." Then a heart emoji, right? Right. Exhibit GX103. It's between Jane and Paul, correct? I don't memorize the exhibit numbers. Let's show it. This is a message between Paul Arthur and Mr. Combs, who says staff is leaving. This is the first mention of Anton, right? On October 8th of 2022? Yes, and then he shows up. And these photos, do you see the bracelet that Jane is wearing? I do. In this exhibit, Jane writes, "Can you come to Turks?" What does he say? He says, "Yes, love. I have a passport, but not vaccination. Then she said, can you get to the ATL? A few days later, March 21st of 2023, she asks about Miami. Jane then writes, tonight was fun. What did he say? He says, had a great time with you, baby. Now, April of 2023. Jane, Mr. Combs, and Paul. He says, hey, Jane, I'm available. And she asks about the 19th? Yes. Jane says, I'll reach out. How about P? Italian is available. What does Combs respond? Combs says, okay, you find location. You in the mood? Jane says, didn't know you were unsatisfied. I stopped and got a couple more outfits. Then Jane writes, I know what you like, Daddy. At the London, before you left for New York, you did a film. You forgot it. You promised you wouldn't forget. Then a smirk face, devil face. I'm coming, Daddy. That video you sent me was hot. Sweat emoji. Let's go back to this exhibit. May 19th through the 20th of 2023. Jane, Mr. Combs, Paul, and Cabral. What does Mr. Combs write? He writes, is the chef still there? She says, no, LOL. Pull up the text of the personal assistants. Christina Korm writes, for hotel, they want fruit, outfits, shorts for him, size large, fruits, and juices. She writes, are you hydrated? I'll be at one hotel, residential side. Hey hun, had a great time. Do you see that? Yes. Here in this exhibit, Jane writes to Mr. Combs, I love you, can't wait to see you, with heart emojis. But now she writes, let's be positive. Remember how we turned it around at 1 star, right? Right. He says, you got chef? Jane says, no. Jane says, you know I was trying for my chefy poo. Jane writes, are you up to coming to LA? How much would it be to compensate for a missing chef gig? He responds, sorry, love. I could have did it if there was enough heads up. Then Mr. Combs writes, hurry up. She's at the hotel. She is hot as hell. Need help, LOL. And Paul responds, LOL, right? Right. And then Mr. Combs sends Paul an image. Does it look like Shaq? Yes. And then the judge asks for a sidebar. Diddy's lawyer pulls up another exhibit and says, Mr. Combs writes to Paul, security knows to let you in the back, right? Then Combs says, just say P, not Paul. And Jane writes, just to tell you I love you, listening to your music, making love with you, partay, rosé, whatever we're saying. This exhibit, on August 12th of 2023, Mr. Combs writes, movie night was off the chain. Jane says, so we'll try something new tonight? And he says, call Italian. Jane responds saying, one hotel roof, good for drinks and light bites. Smiley face, kiss face, right? Right. And he says, baby, I'm stressed out. She says, I'm back to mommy mode. Now go to September 19th of 2023. I just want to highlight a few exhibits that I didn't think were in the chart. Combs writes, headed to ATL. Here, Mr. Combs writes, I can't even look. It'll drive me crazy. And then Jane writes, muy caliente, with the sweat face. That shit was different. All of it. And this was September 24th of 2023. Yes. This message says, we had a great day. Here, Jane writes, Daddy, want to see Mommy be bad tonight, right? Slide that D in me at the restaurant. No water. Emojis, yes? Right. Then she writes, I'm going to blow your mind tonight. Can't wait to lick your nipples. Right. Jane sends more emojis of drool, and then she writes, it's hot in this hotel. Yeah, we need to run to the freak store. I didn't have time to do my nails. And Mr. Combs says, he writes, I effing love it. Let's just quickly look at this exhibit. This is just Jane and Mr. Combs. Correct. On September 30th, Jane writes, I love you, baby. Have a great show. This I won't repeat here, and then the lawyer starts laughing. There is no location entries until February 8th of 2024. And Christina Korm asked Jonathan Perez, how does he look? You could put him in front of someone, but he just took a full bar, so I think he'll be asleep soon. Here in this exhibit, you have flight records for Jane going from LA to Miami, 5 days before Mr. Combs posts the IG video, right? Right. Now there's a phone call from Anton to Jane for 0 seconds. What does that mean? The clock starts at ringing, and Diddy's lawyer starts playing videos that still can't be seen to the public, and you hear on the audio, beautiful day like this, and a bass playing. That was June of 2024, right? Right. Let's play more video. Diddy's lawyer said, we're almost done. Please stop it here. Do you see the message from Jane? I have the best memories. I have just a few more questions to ask about the exhibit. Bring up this one. Do you see the account transfer of $22,000? Yes. In this exhibit, it was for Jane's transportation. Do you see that it was $151.99 for Jane and also Cabral Williams? Then $324.50 and $760.25. Let's go to this exhibit. Sean Combs' personal bank account records. Total due is $74,000. There's an account transfer to the LLC? Yes. Your Honor, can I have a moment? One more video and then we're done. The one that wasn't working this morning. Turn off the attorney's screens and then they play this video. You reviewed the metadata for this video? Which chart? That's a great question. Then Diddy's lawyer ends their cross by saying, "Thank you, agent. Please go back to keeping New York City safe." And she starts laughing. And then it gets redirected back to the government. The government says, "Did we see Sean Combs paying for the travel of Cabral Williams from Atlanta to Florida across state lines?" Diddy's lawyer yells, "Objection." Do the charts represent every text message in this case? No. Let's pull up this message before this date. Diddy's lawyer yells, "Objection, beyond the scope." And they said, "Miss Garagos did it." And the judge calls for a sidebar. The government comes back and says, "In this time frame, did you see any messages between Jane and Mr. Combs that were physical or affectionate in nature?" No. No further questions. And now the prosecution has rested their case against Diddy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.